What is good, guys, and welcome to what I would say is one of the most interesting videos we've ever put together. I'm going to show you 10 surprisingly useful DIY hacks you can do with your Android smartphone. Let's get right into it. And starting things off, sunglasses. Now, I'm willing to bet most of you guys will have at least a pair of these lying around. Just flip them over, fold them partway inwards, and rest your phone on top. And that is a super simple DIY phone stand. If you're the kind of person who uses a lot of social media apps like Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, or Twitter, then try this. This is the fake GPS location. You simply open up the application, pick anywhere on the world map that you want your phone to think it is in, and it works. You could send a tweet as if you were based 200 miles from where you actually are. You can access Snapchat filters from anywhere across the globe. You could even access applications that have been geographically locked. So then we've got a fancy little gadget known as BONDIC, which claims to be the world's first liquid plastic welder. So what you do is you pour a little bit of liquid on something that is broken. It could be a tear in your smartphone charging cable, for example. You then flip it over, apply UV light to it, and it instantly hardens. And I mean, this stuff isn't cheap, but it's pretty good. It is waterproof, heat resistant, it dries clear, and it creates a permanent bond. Next up, a pretty cool and surprisingly quick way to make a smartphone sleeve. You simply start with a sock and pretty much invert it, and that is it. If you choose a sock with a little bit more elastic in, it'll give your phone a tighter fit, but either way, this is providing a fair bit of drop protection and does a pretty good job of keeping your screen clear. But we can take this a little bit further. If you then roll the sock up again so it is triple layered now, and then cut off the end, you've essentially got an armband. If you need to make this tighter, you can simply fold it up again, and you can use this to store your smartphone against your arm, say for example if you're running. And generally speaking, the friction from your skin alone will be enough to keep your phone in place. Now, you've probably heard of developer options, this small little settings menu tucked away into the back of Android that allows you to tinker a little bit more than most people would want to. Now, there are two particular settings within this menu that I wanted to highlight, which perhaps you wouldn't initially consider switching on. The first one being Force 4x MSAA. This essentially introduces anti-aliasing into the games you play, which means that edges which perhaps were pixelated before become smoothed out. And whilst this first setting is going to increase the rate at which your battery drains, the other one is going to do the exact opposite, because you actually also have control over the background process limit, the number of applications you want your phone to keep open in the background. So if you are finding your device is getting too slow or your battery is running out too fast, give this a go. One surprisingly enticing product that I've never really come across any Android user actually putting on is a privacy screen guard. This is essentially a screen protector with all the benefits of tempered glass, but at the same time an added layer of security. From any angle except for straight on, your phone's screen is going to be very difficult to read, which means if you're handling confidential data or you just don't like other people looking at what you're doing in public transport, for example, this is quite a good option. Now, fair warning, this next one should only really be used as a last resort because it's not an ideal solution. But it involves a balloon. It involves filling it up, chopping the end off, and making sure the air doesn't escape. You then get your device without a case and press into the balloon. And you'll notice as the air starts to leave, the plastic of the balloon is going to form a case. Now thankfully there is a little bit of neatening up you can do here. You can chop the end of the balloon off, and you can also pull the corners away so they don't cover the screen of your phone. Now, as fun as the process is, the final product does leave a lot to be desired. There's no camera cutout, and visually speaking, it's not great. The only time I could see myself using something like this is if I'd got a brand new phone, I didn't want to scratch it, but at the same time I was waiting on a proper case. For those of you who are still using micro USB cables, which can only correctly be inserted one way up, which is incredibly frustrating, what can save a little bit of faff is just getting a permanent marker and leaving a mark on the top side. That way, whenever you pick the cable up, you know that if this marked side is facing you, then you've got it the right way up. Also related to avid social media users, but perhaps slightly more geared to people who have an online presence, parallel space. This allows you to have two different accounts on social media and run them simultaneously. Once you download the application, you can select the apps which you would like to clone, and it creates two separate applications which, when pressed, will automatically take you to that application logged into that specific account. Alright, every phone nowadays is coming with a SIM ejector tool. Incredibly handy, but also incredibly easy to lose. Did you know you can also use a paperclip for exactly the same purpose? You just fold out the end section until you've got a 90-degree angle, and voila, there's nothing more to it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, it really does mean a lot to me, and if you found this interesting, I've got plenty more like this and I'll leave them as a card above. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.